Hi everyone, welcome to the next video in this series of brooches from Ivy and the Inky Butterfly by Johanna Basford using Faber Castell Polychromos pencils. We're going to come in a little closer and have a go at this brooch here. This one, I've done this a few times, once actually. I'm going to do it in very much a similar way. Last time I made it look like it was enamelled flowers, and I'm going to do the same thing apart from the centres, and I thought maybe I could try and make those look like jewels, but I don't know how to make something enamelled look different to something jewelled. I've got a little idea. I'm going to try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So I'm going to do the centres. I'm going to do the flowers in blue, the centres in what I hope will look like a more jewel coloured blue, and then the petals in something I hope will look more enamelled, but I don't really know if it, as I say, if it's going to quite work like that, but I'm just going to give it a go. Who knows? So I'm going to start with my cobalt turquoise. I'm going to use that for the centres of the flowers. I'm going to do them in a very similar way, well, the same way as these. So a very dark outside, so lots of layers round and round and round, and a little less in the middle, but I want colour on the whole of it. Okay, I'm going to make my shine with a white pen, so I'm just going to layer it up like that, and then they're all going to be the same. I just nipped off to have a cup of tea, and it was quite interesting. I could hear my neighbour, and she was having her breakfast outside on her bench, and I could hear her spoon hitting her bowl. It's actually 11 o'clock. She has her breakfast very late. She doesn't get up really late. She's just not ready for breakfast first thing, and that's fine. She's retired. She does work, but she doesn't. She just works when she wants to, because she I think she helps her daughter out with her business, so she doesn't have to work set hours. Anyway, it just made me think about her sitting out there on the bench having her breakfast, and actually how I quite like a table. I never eat, I'm not a big fan of eating outside normally, but I was thinking in the first thing in the morning it's going to be cooler, which is nice, and there'll be less insects about, which is part of the reason I don't like eating outside. I thought it might just feel a bit like you're on holiday, a bit relaxing, yet being outside. So it's a thought. My husband hates putting things onto a dirty bench, you know, because it's been in the outside. He doesn't think it's hygienic, but it's not like I'm going to be putting my breakfast eating off the bench. I'm going to have a bowl. I was just thinking it might be a really relaxing start to a summer morning, but there's a slight technical hitch with my plan. I don't have a bench in my garden. Right, I think if I go lighter for the petals, it's going to look more like it could be enamel. But I need it to be thick enough so that a white shine will still show up. I'm not sure if it's going to work. I'm going to try my light cobalt turquoise. Oops, there we go. And I think I'm going to put it on quite thickly. I'm not going to do any sort of shading. I just want there to be a nice thick layer. So I'm just going to colour over and over and over like that until they're, so that when I put the white on, you can see it. Because if you put pencil on too gently, the white pen doesn't show up. So I'm just going to get it down. So it's going to be a lot of samey colouring here, but that's okay. But I had thought about getting a table and chairs for the garden, but there was a bit of work that I wanted doing really in the garden. I thought it would be nice to put in a raised bed in one part of it, pave it rather than gravel, so it's a bit less uncomfortable, because you can't go out into your gravel garden with no shoes on. It's just too painful. So I thought, I did actually yesterday, I went and got some rubbish out of the garden, and because I had a few bags of garden rubbish out there which needed sorting, so I was doing that yesterday. And there's some slabs under the window, so I can clean the window more easily. And I walked on those, but there's some gravel had been kicked up onto the slab, and I stood on a bit just under the arch of my foot. I was like, ow! It sort of felt like it bruised me rather than cut. You know, it's fine. I'm fine. It went away after our 5 minutes. You know these things. Sometimes. Oh, my phone's ringing. Hold on. I am back now. I was on the phone for quite a long time, so I've got no idea what I was talking to you about. And then I had lunch. I had quite a break. So I know what I'm doing with the colouring. I'd left my lamp on and my video camera on and everything. Not recording, but on. But luckily it's plugged into the mains, so it seems to be okay, which is good. It used to, a long time ago, the battery used to go flat if I left it on, even when it was plugged into the mains, but fortunately, I think it had a poor connection or something, but I've changed the way I connect it. I've used these clever little, a clever little device that has a magnet, and you plug it in permanently into your socket or on your camera, and you have it on the end of your charging cable, and then you have to keep pulling the cable in and out, and it means that you don't, because I found with some items I have actually ruined them by pulling the cable in and out, and it bends the pins. So this one you don't have to do that. I'll show you how. There's the cable. It's got this little magnet on it, so it just connects to the camera, and then the magnet on the other end that's plugged into the camera. It's a very clever little thing. My dad told me about it actually, because he'd used it for his, because he'd had some of his devices ruined with the broken pins, and so you don't have to unplug it, you just connect the magnet. And so if I haven't quite connected the magnet properly, then it doesn't charge. So just make sure it's plugged in. There's a little light on the end which helps you, so that's handy. So our leaves are going to be green, which probably isn't a surprise to anybody, and very similarly done. So it's actually quite the simple. This is the simplest of all of them, I think, because I'm not doing, although I'm wanting the flower centres to look a bit gemstony, that's not it. They may not, and it was still very straightforward. So the rest of it, once we've done the petals, is just leaves, and again just plain colouring. So it's very easy. It's quite a nice little break I found when I did this page before, from all the sort of metallics and gemstones and things like that on all the others, and some of them are a bit fiddly. And I just felt these looked a bit like forget-me-nots, which is why I like them in blue. I don't know. So there is our blue. I think that's enough. And where am I putting my pencils there? So leaf-wise, I am thinking I don't want to go too dark, but I need it to be dark enough. I'm not going to do like a really light green, but on the other hand, I'm not going to go really dark. This is the permanent green. I think that helps you see it. And I'm just going to do all the leaves in the permanent green. I think it's quite a nice green. You might want to do it a slightly different shade. It really matters not. Do your favourite one. I mean, a bluey green I think probably matches blue leaves better, but I did that on the last one, so I wanted, it gives a little, I think it adds a bit of warmth to the page, being a slightly more yellowy green. But you may prefer the bluey greens. It's, you know, it's very personal, I think, with colours, what we like and what we dislike. I mean, what's your favourite colour? Tell me in the comments. I don't really have a favourite. I think green, but sort of warm yellowy olivey greens I like. I like turquoisey blues, maybe even more turquoise than we get in this set. Teal, that sort of thing is rather nice. but I do change my mind. Also colour combinations, you know, I like red and gold like we did for our first one, and then purple and green like we did for the second one, you know, so that makes a difference. Whereas I wouldn't normally say I liked red, but once it's with gold I think it looks very elegant, very regal, you know, nice combination. So it just sort of depends. Now for this, there's obviously no in between these that is blank. Now you could choose to draw in something that looks like a sort of framework that they're sitting on, because you know they might be attached, they would have to be attached together by something that we can't see that's on the back. Now I'm not going to do that. I figure that maybe there's a little piece of wire that sort of attaches through there and then through there, you know, rather than it being something that, rather than it being a ring. Now on this one of those two is a petal, a leaf, but which one? I'm going to put it that side, I think, because we've already got two that side. I don't think it matters. We've got three here in a little bunch anyway. So I think my sister and my mum both like purple. It's one of their favourite colours. My mum thinks I like purple too. I do, but I wouldn't always say it was my favourite. It depends on the shade, partly. And I quite like a manganese violet, but I'm not very keen on very pinky purples. I prefer bluey violets. Yeah. So I'm fussy. Right, I am going to keep it as simple as that with regards to the pencil work. And now grab my pen. I'm going to use the 8. It's a little bit, might be a bit thick for it, but I think we need something that's going to stand out on our flowers. I'm trying to think where to go. I want some on the leaves as well. Come on, pen. There we go. I'm going to just put a little bit here and there, I think. I put a bit on each leaf, but maybe not on all of the petals. And on each flower centre, because that's where it's going to stand out more on the flower centres and the leaves than the petals, because the petals are paler. But I hope it stands out a little bit. Oh, I've got an itchy nose out. Oh, oh, excuse me. It's a little bit fiddly, but it's not difficult. And what I'm trying to do is putting the shine on the same place on the flower centre, but for the rest it's a bit random. I don't think it should be random really, but I don't really know. Otherwise it might just not be on very much of it. I think it just adds that little shiny indication. I shall have a look in a minute. I'll look up. Oh, I put that one on the wrong side. Oh dear. What a naughty girl. Now let's have a look in the camera. Yeah, the light blue ones don't really show up. So not for my eye anyway. I'll put a few more on. Just because I don't know. Only on the petals where they haven't got any already. I'm thinking I might just put one on each bit. That one's got some, I think. I'm getting quite excited because my favourite programme is coming back. Woohoo! I like Strictly Come Dancing, or it's known as Dancing with the Stars in the US. They're announcing the names already of who's going to be in it. It's exciting. I don't really mind who's in it, I just like it. Right, I am done anyway, so I need to stop talking. Let you get on with your day. So I hope you have a super day. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, and tune in tomorrow for the next one. I'm not got no idea what I'm going to do with it, but we shall find out. It will be a mystery to us all. But for now, yes, super thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, drop me a little comment. It's all very much appreciated, and happy colouring.